Krankarat Srimad Bhagavatam Gita Gaurapremanande Hare Om Namami Sware Krishna Krishna Buddha Srimad Bhagavatam Swami Nande Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Swami Nande Srimad Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So this morning we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 7, Intra-Offense is built on Master Pinastatic and text 24. Tripistapam kim kanayanti abhedyam.
Tripistapam kim kanayanti abdeya.
Tripistapam kim kanayanti abhedyam.
Tripistapam kim kanayanti abdeya.
Mantra vigunam anusiksitartham.
Mantra Prikunam Anusiksitartha.
Mantra vigunam anusiksitartham.
Mantra Prikunam Anusiksitartha.
Navipra govindaka iswaranam.
Navipra Govindaka Iswaranam.
Navipra govindaka iswaranam.
Navipra Govindaka Iswaranam.
Bhavanti apatrani nareswaranam.
Bhavanti Abhadrani Nareswaranam.
Bhavanti apatrani nareswaranam.
Bhavanti Abhadrani Nareswaranam.
Tripistapam kim kanayanti abhedyam.
Tripistapam kim kanayanti abhedya.
Mantra vigunam anusiksitartham.
Mantra Prikunam Anusiksitartha.
Navipra govindaka iswaranam.
Navipra Govindaka Iswaranam.
Bhavanti apatrani nareswaranam.
Bhavanti Abhadrani Nareswaranam.
Next version, please.
Tripistapam kim kanayanti abhedya.
Tripistapam kim kanayanti abhedya.
Mantra vigunam anusiksitartha.
Mantra vigunam anusiksitartha.
Navipra govindaka iswaranam.
Navipra govindaka iswaranam. Bhavanti apatrani nareswaranam.
Tripistapam kim kanayanti abheya.
Tripistapam kim kanayanti abhedya.
Mantra Prikunam Anusiksitartha.
Mantra vigunam anusiksitartha.
Navipra Govindaka Iswaranam.
Navipra govindaka iswaranam.
Bhavanti Abhadrani Nareswaranam.
Bhavanti apatrani nareswaranam. Tripistapam kim kanayanti abhedya. mantra prikunam anusiksikartha. Naviprakovindakarishvarana bhavanti apatrani naresvarana. Tripistapam. All the demigods, including Lord Brahma.
All the demigods, including Lord Brahma.
King. What? Ganayanti. Take care for. Abhedya mantra. Whose determination to carry out the orders of the spiritual master is unbreakable.
Whose
determination to carry out the orders of the spiritual master is unbreakable.
Trigunam, and the disciples of Trikumuni like Sukra and Sarsa. Anusiksita Artha, deciding to follow the instructions. Na, not Vipra, the Brahmanas, Govinda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Go to cows, Isvaranam, the persons favoring or considering worshipable. Bhavanti, are, Apadrani, any misfortunes. Nara Isvaranam, or the kings who follow this principle. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. Because of their firm determination to follow the instructions of Sukracharya, his disciples, the demons, are now unconcerned about the demigods. In fact, kings or others who have determined faith in the mercy of Brahmanas, cows, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and who always worship these three, are always strong in their positions. From the instructions of Lord Brahma, it is understood that everyone should very faithfully worship the Brahmanas, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the cows. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. He is always very kind to cows and Brahmanas. Therefore, one who worships Govinda must satisfy him by worshipping the Brahmanas and cows. If a government worships the Brahmanas, the cows, and Krishna, Govinda, it is never defeated anywhere. Otherwise, it must always be defeated and condemned everywhere. At the present moment, all over the world, governments have no respect for Brahmanas, cows, and Govinda, and consequently, there are chaotic conditions all over the world. In summary, although the demigods were very powerful in material opulence, the demons defeated them in battle because the demigods had behaved disrespectfully toward the Brahmana Brihaspati, who was their spiritual master. The text was, because of their firm determination to follow the instructions of Sukracharya, his disciples, the demons, are now unconcerned about the demigods. In fact, kings or others who have determined faith in the mercy of Brahmanas, cows, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and who always worship these three, are always strong in their position. Vakhyana Tivrandasya Khyana Chana Savakaya Saksurmiritam Yadaswai Sri Gurave Namaha. So we are reading this 6th chapter, Intro Offenses, Spiritual Master Brihaspati. So now the demigods, they have difficulties with demons, and so they go to see Lord Brahma and ask instructions. This today's verse is spoken by Lord Brahma to demigods, and he is plainly describing them that because they are following their spiritual master, the demons, they are following Sukracharya and respecting him. Now they are more powerful than you because you have offended your spiritual master, Brihaspati. And in the text it is said that those kings who always have faith, have the mercy of Brahmanas, cows and Supreme Personality incarnate Krishna, and who worship him, they are always strong in their position. So now we may think that does this give us material power if we worship Krishna and respect the Brahmanas and the cows? Do we get material power over others? This sounds very materialistic way to worship Krishna. So it would, if somebody would do, then it would be like karma, misra, bhakti, so that we worship Krishna in order to get material wealth and power. But this we can be understand this in different way also, that these persons who worship Krishna, Brahmanas and cows, that they are strong in their spiritual position. Because however these material positions in this world, like being a king or wealthy man or whatever, famous, it's temporary, it may come according to our past karma, but it surely goes away in one point, in this life or in the next life. So those who are wise, they are not so much after this kind of benedictions, which are temporary completely. Therefore, we would like to take these instructions here, what Brahma is giving, that they are strong in their position, to mean that they are strong in their spiritual position, they are strong in their devotion to Lord Krishna, if they continuously worship Krishna. Vaishnava Brahmanas and respect the cows. They always are in good position and they are progressing in their spiritual life, in their devotional life, toward the ultimate goal, which is the attainment love for Krishna, and quit this repeated birth and death in this material world. In his purports, Prabhupada is saying that it is understood that everyone is very faithfully worship the Brahmanas, the Supreme Personality incarnate in the cows. So if you have this, let's say, knowledge, transcendental knowledge, what is the benefit of doing that kind of worship, then we may be very eager to do that. But nowadays, because in Kali Yuga, there is most of ignorance and passion, they are very prominent, and people in general, we don't have very good qualities, and so on. Therefore, we are not so much concerned about these kind of instructions. Even we may hear them, we may think that, what is this? It's not for me, or it is some kind of mythology. And I am more interested in something practical so that I can earn money and maintain myself very much. This is the Kali Yuga, they are like that. And then about these karmic activities, sinful activities which we are committing during our life, we don't believe that there is any like consequences. Whatever I do, I can do whatever I want. And there are no consequences. And what is after my death, there's nothing. What to worry about that? The philosophy is that there's this one life, and now you have to try to enjoy it as much as possible in this life, because then when it is over, everything is over. And after that life, it is darkness. It is interesting to see, as I was reading one question on social media, that if after our death there is no darkness, then what does that mean? This is the common understanding most of the people that after my death there is only darkness. But the thing is that if it is so that after my death I do not exist anymore as an individual person who has consciousness and ability to sense, then this question does not have any meaning. It's only if after my death, I am existing as an individual spiritual, individual being who has consciousness and ability to sense. Then this question has some meaning, because then I can see if there is darkness or something. If there is darkness, somebody has sensed that darkness, and the person must have consciousness to understand, okay, here is darkness. So they think that death is like sleeping. I'm sleeping at night in darkness. It's like that. But they have still some understanding that I am existing in one sense. Many people. I'm still existing, but everything is dark and there is nothing. Also, in nothingness, in order to understand nothingness, we have to have consciousness to realize, okay, it is nothingness. Like philosophy of Buddha, Nirvana, means that there is no anymore anything. You don't exist, and anything around, we cannot say that around you because you don't exist. That's enough. You don't exist. You cannot anymore understand, is there something around, because there is nothing. What is you? This is like a more scientific understanding of this nirvisesa, Prabhupada in this pranama mantra, nirvisesa sunyavami. It means that he is saving people in the West from these calamities coming nirvisesa and sunyavami. Means that we become completely impersonalist, so that there is nothing, and nothing has any meaning. Like the theory of the scientists, everything is nothing has any meaning. Everything is chance. Everything is only chance. This is good theory, because then the whole world has no meaning. If we accept this, that everything is chance, then nothing has any meaning anymore. But to have some meaning to life, it is very important, because we cannot be happy if there is any meaning in anywhere. I think people still there are after some happiness in life. I think so. Might be people who don't even want to be happy, but they get their happiness being unhappy. if that is our goal of life still, that we want to get some happiness, then it requires that our life has some meaning. And everything that we are doing, it has some meaning. So Nirvisesa Sunyavadi, Prabhupada came to save us from these calamities of these modern philosophies, which do not give any meaning to anything, and everything is the same, and everything is zero, and vacuum philosophy. I heard the story about Prabhupada's these Pranama mantras, because in the beginning, Prabhupada followers, they didn't know Sanskrit. Of course, nowadays we have so many Sanskrit scholars, very good, even internationally, very appreciated Sanskrit scholars, like Hridanta Maharaj, this Kusakratha Prabhu, who already has passed away. He was also very expert in Sanskrit, and then many others. But in those early days there were none, and Prabhupada, he asked his godbrother, Sridhar Swami, that if he can make a pranama mantra to him, because his disciples cannot do it. And then Sridhar Swami, and he gave this responsibility to one of his disciples who was very expert in Sanskrit. And then this pranama mantras came. Of course, Prabhupada, he gave some instructions what there should be in this pranama mantra. But this disciple, Sridhar Swami, then he made according to Prabhupada's instructions these pranama mantras. Gauravani Pracharya means that this person is spreading the mercy of Lord Gauranga. Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pasyanta Nisatavya. And he is preaching in Western countries those who are impersonalists and Buddhists, to make them devotees. And Prabhupada explains that these disciples should be intelligent enough to glorify the spiritual master in the right way, to eulogize, glorify his certain good qualities that spiritual master is exhibiting. And when we are doing this Prabhupada's pranama mantra, that's Namaste Saraswati, that he's following his spiritual master Saraswati, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Gauravani Prasarine, he is spreading the mercy of Gauranga. Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pasyanta Nisatavya, and he is preaching in Western countries against these impersonal and Buddhist philosophies. This is like praising the spiritual master. When we reciting this mantra, then we get the opportunity to praise Lord Gauranga. So, and this is also the theme of these verses which we are reading, that one should glorify the spiritual master, one should respect the spiritual master, and one should follow the spiritual master, instructions of the spiritual master. Then one becomes strong in his spiritual life. And about our material life, if we are really good devotees, we accept things that come by themselves or by little endeavor. The devotee should not endeavor too much for his or her maintenance, but some endeavor there must be, but like balance, not too much. And then he should use his time for devotional service, chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Now I read also one article from Dandavats, one person was quoting all the Srila Prabhupada's quotations from his books where he's saying, or conversations, where he's saying that it's good to chant 64 hours the Hare Krishna mantra. But of course, there are also opposite statements in Srila Prabhupada, where he's saying that you do 16 rounds, then you do devotional service, but you should be engaged 24 hours a day. And this is equal to chanting 64 rounds. He's saying like that also. But he didn't copy it. He copied only where he's saying that it is good to do 64 rounds. But then at the end he is saying that at least 16. So Prabhupada, he never says or lets us to understand that unless we do 64 rounds, that we are fallen, like Bhaktisiddhanta said. He says that 16 at least, but you can do more. And he keeps this, even the devotees, they sometimes say that we are doing like 25 or 32 or whatever. He is saying that that's very good, but at least 16. So he also knows that it might be this kind of Maya Uchava, this illusionary enthusiasm. We become very enthusiastic to increase our numbers at Hare Krishna mantra, and then we ultimately finally we do 64 rounds, and then it lasts 1 week and then collapse. Then we hardly can do 16 anymore. So better keep this at least 16, and if you have extra time, you can do more. That's good. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was very firm. Now we don't follow him, we follow Srila Prabhupada. But he can mention, he says that he's quoting Lord Gauranga in Srimad Bhagavatam. Everyone who is not doing 1 lakh Hare Krishna mantra, he is fallen. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is repeating this. And Srila Prabhupada is saying that, yes, we are fallen, but because Lord Gauranga is Patita Pavana, is the deliverer of the fallen, and therefore we take shelter with his lotus feet and beg for his mercy. Alright, what else here is in our this purport? Srila Prabhupada is saying that the government, they should worship Krishna, Brahmanas and cows. This is quite ideal thing. But at the moment we cannot imagine that they would do that. Rather, they are trying to be secular and equal to all religions, but they give us rights to practice our religion. And that's good. That's good from the side of the government. And they also give us certain advice that we can get donations and we don't have to pay taxes. We can take or get as much donations as people give us, no problem. And government allows them. And we can do our Harinam and these programs and preachings freely. Some restrictions, the cities they give some restrictions, but they are actually not hampering our preaching program. So this is living in like a free country, what we are doing. But then there are countries they cannot practice Krishna consciousness publicly. They have to do it underground, like in China. Government is not very favorable to religions, not favorable to Krishna consciousness also, and they have to go to underground and have their meetings secretly somewhere. And there is always fear that government officers they find out, and then there might be some consequences. And many other countries, there are not freedom religion. There might be one like state religion, official religion, and every other religions are banned. But government at least should be equal to all religions. It should give Hare Krishna's right to perform their own religion. So Prabhupada explains that because government, they don't have respect for brahmanas, cows and govinda. Therefore, there are chaotic conditions all over the world. So if we offend these three things, real brahmanas, like Vaishnava brahmanas, and we offend the cows by slaughtering them, then we offend to Govinda, Supreme Person of the Godhead, some way or another, then there is consequences. There is chaotic conditions, there are wars, there are diseases, natural catastrophes, and there are unhappiness among the masses of people and so on. So the demigods, they were very powerful in material opulence because they were the devotees of Govinda. They were respecting cows and their spiritual master, but when they offered disrespect to their spiritual master, Brihaspati, they lost everything. They will lose their opulence. They have to leave these higher planets, escape because demons conquered them, and they lost their power. And in this example, we see that these powerful demigods, they lost everything because of disrespect for brahmanas and the spiritual master. And then the demons, they got the upper hand and they will conquer the heavenly planets. And then the Supreme Person of Godhead has to incarnate as Vamanadev. And we see that this respect to the Brahmanas, we see that Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu also, he himself, he accepted a spiritual master, Ishvara Puri. And so Prabhupada is explaining that he accepted that to give us example that he also accepts a spiritual master. Although when Ishvara Puri initiated Gauranga Mahaprabhu in Gaya, actually Gauranga Mahaprabhu, before the initiation, he whispered the mantra, initiation mantra, to the ear of his spiritual master. And then spiritual master gave that same mantra to Gauranga Mahaprabhu, initiating him by that mantra. And after that, Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu became very ecstatic. Why he was not ecstatic before? Because he knew that mantra. Because it had to come through the disciplic succession, through the spiritual master. So he wanted to show that when it comes to the disciplic succession through the spiritual master, then one becomes ecstatic in Krishna consciousness. Also, later on, when Gauranga Mahaprabhu went to take sannyasa from Kesava Bharati in Katwa. He also whispered the mantra to ear, this sannyasa mantra to ear Kesava Bharati. And then Kesava Bharati gave this same sannyasa mantra to Lord Gauranga. And after that, they both were dancing ecstatically there. So in this way, he showed by his example that one has to accept the spiritual master and respect the spiritual master. Also, Krishna in his life, he went to Gurukula at Sandipani Muni to study under the direction of Sandipani Muni there. Krishna and Balaram, they both went there. When they were in Vrindavan, when they were young boys, they didn't study under the spiritual master, but as soon as they came to Mathura, Kamsa was killed and so on, they released their Vasudeva and Devaki, their mother and father, because now they were Kshatriya boys. They were sent to Gurukula, and Krishna accepted the authority of the spiritual master, Sandipani Muni, who taught them these 64 educations. There are mentioned in Krishna book these 64 insect education that Sandipani Muni taught them, including Vedas and mantras and Puranas and then these things like dancing, decorating the body, playing musical instruments, doing different beverages, and many other things like that. And when they returned, and when they completely their study, and they got this Brahman initiation and Brahman training, they returned to Mathura. So in Krishna is also instructing by his example that one has to accept the spiritual master. There are exceptions. Interestingly, there are some exceptions. You say one. Brahma. Yeah, that's true, because he learned from Kshirodakasi Vishnu. Actually, Kshirodakasi Vishnu gave him this instruction, tapa, which means meditation or austerity. He didn't have actually this jailers, spiritual master. Brahma is one, but of course, Kshirodakasi Vishnu was there. Then in Lord Gauranga's Leela there is Haridas Thakur, because he was born in untouchable family, then he couldn't get the spiritual master, because according to this very strict caste system, these Brahmanas never initiated those who were lower in birth, according to their calculations. So therefore, Haridas Thakur never had official initiation, but he learned somehow or other from the Vaishnavas everything needed in Krishna consciousness. He learned all scriptures, he learned proper mantras, and of course he learned Hare Krishna mantra, which is the most important mantra. And then Nityananda Prabhu also, he accepted spiritual master. According to some, it was Lakshmipati Tirtha. And again, the same happened. Lakshmipati Tirtha, he had a dream that Nityananda is coming to accept him as spiritual master, and he saw in a dream, he heard in a dream this mantra that he should give to that person, and then when Nityananda had heard, then Lakshmipati Tirtha gave him this mantra and initiated him. Then also Mahamanta Puri was his sixth guru. Alright, thank you very much for your attention. Do you have some comments or questions, please? So we are 7th chapter, today was text 24, next whenever it is 25. Question is, how long can I go advance without accepting officially spiritual master? This is sometimes asked this question. Do you have any idea? What would you say? Somebody would ask from you.
I have not the answer, but I have the opinion of a yoga teacher. He's a disciple of Krishna Goswami, and he always says that without spiritual master, you cannot teach yoga because others will not accept you. As far as you don't accept spiritual master, you will not teach yoga. Others will not accept you, and nothing happens in their lives. So this is just waste of time.
Okay, waste of time. Yeah, I think I know him. Yeah. So, are you?
How far? I don't know how do I determine this, that how far, but we can maybe create some more of goodness, but not higher.
Okay. No one accepts you because you don't have spiritual master, maybe more of goodness, and you, what do you say?
You cannot go very far without a spiritual master because Krishna to approach directly is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Because when the spiritual master says, okay, this person recommends you to Krishna,
Yeah.
then Krishna says, okay, maybe I accept him.
Okay.
So we require that thing.
Yeah.
That is one aspect of it. And also learning the science of Krishna consciousness. Just like to learn any subject, even engineering or medical, we need to go to a teacher. So we need a teacher to learn this science also. That is also a spiritual master.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So we need spiritual master because he connects us to Krishna. And from him we learn the science of Krishna consciousness. Okay. And Prabhu, there, you?
Okay. It is said somewhere that Hare Krishna mantra is enough for but it's glorified the power of the Hare Krishna mantra that it can give everything without accepting the formal initiation.
Yes.
But the Krishna doing in such a way, because it's a relationship with him, so he made the system in such a way that we always must have seniors,
Yeah.
and we always have those under who we serve, and in this way, practically, like theoretically,
Yeah.
it's Mahamantra is enough to attain the goal of life, but practically Krishna will not give just because we need to learn in relationship with the living persons, how to serve
Okay.
Krishna and love him.
Very good. Yes. So theoretically, Mahamantra is said to be enough, but on practical level it is not so. Because he is spiritual master and we have to be under his guidance and we have to have somebody to serve and get the mercy, something like that. Yeah, that's good. Okay, thank you very much. So, Prabhupada, Gita.
What is your answer?
Yeah, I was collecting all these. These are very good.
Очень хороший.
But what is the right answer?
Какой же правильный?
To question at how far we go. It was something like what you said, that we develop more the goodness.
Ну, мы можем уравнять.
We may develop more the goodness, but we cannot approach Krishna without spiritual master. And it's not very practical if we don't have spiritual master, not practical. And not accepted by
Hare Krishna. His grace, Hanumanananda Prabhu ki jai.